Welcome everyone. Today we'll have an exciting update for the Pit 150 clear. Now during this time you can see the Chinese players were able to clear the pit before the patch fix in under 9 minutes. So this is one of the fastest clear that was posted on Bilibili. And if you have a look at the timer over here, he still have over 6 minutes to spare before the timer ends. And this is actually an 8-minute 38-second clear before the change. So during this time, they haven't changed the 10% boss life at pit 150. But it is still one of the extremely fast pit clear because they have changed a lot of different gears and also different stats that were prioritized in this particular build. Now this is going to be a very exciting build I want to share with you guys, but there's also another form of the build. So this is another school of the build that is not stacking maximum resolve stack. The first one stacked maximum resolve stack, but the second one, this is another clear from another content creator that is not stacking maximum resolve stack. And of course, it is a 10% boss clear during this time, but they can possibly clear even with a boss HP with 100%. So this one, the player is stacking maximum health and also resilience. So I'll be showing you guys two different builds over here, and I have updated the builder's guide to show you what exactly build, how long it takes to clear for those particular build, and what are the resource and also effects and also choice of paragons they are using for those particular builds. So we have two new builds from the Chinese content creators, and let's dive into the video. Now over here, I do want to say thank you and also credits to 喵喵领悟 and also over here to 每天想打游戏 from the content creators that posted those guide, and also the content creators who has posted this build, which is also Liu Li, who actually theory crafted a lot of those builds. I'll have those links for you guys to have a look. So what is happening right now is there are two different perspectives and also view on the clear for the pit, and the Chinese content creators are looking into ways to scale for the highest damage, and I have over here written the translation of the stats priorities they are looking at. There is actually a lot of changes compared to the last time they cleared the pit in about 14 minutes and 30 seconds. So here they're clearing pit in under 9 minutes, and here they're clearing pit in about 12 minutes using two different new setups. And let me go through with you guys what are the changes and what's been happening and how did they clear this one super fast. Now, one of the biggest changes the Chinese content creators have had with the changes is that they're actually getting maximum life on the gloves and trying to get maximum life greater effects on the rings. So one thing you can notice, if you look at my notes, a lot of the Chinese content creators' characters have over 20,000 HP. And they are prioritizing on life so much that they are not going to get maximum, or they don't even need max GA on the Crow Volley. They want maximum life GA at least on the gloves. And this is also the case. They want maximum life GA everywhere they can. They're even rolling for maximum life percentage on the Banished Lord. So they're not even prioritizing on the skill ranks on the gloves and also on the Banished Lord. So maximum life seems to be the highest scaling for even higher bonus damage. And this is the same concept for any of the build you see that is under 12-minute clear. They're going for a lot of maximum life to hit over 20,000 maximum life while they're standing in the ton. That's right. So let me show you guys one of the finish replays where this content creator actually shared the stats of his gears. And you can see how much maximum life he has. Let me go over here a little bit. So here you can see, while standing after clearing the pit 150, he has over 20,000 stationary maximum life just using the maximum life potions and not having casting any of the skills. So this shows that this particular character, of course, he showed his stats over here. He is prioritizing on maximum life for any of those new builds. And this is the first thing they were able to go under 40 minutes to up to 12 minutes for all of those builds. And you can see there is a heavy priority in getting maximum life great FX rolls on all of the pieces of gears, including the pens, including the rings, and also including the rolls on the amulets for maximum life. Now that we know maximum life is going to be the top priority, both of the Chinese content creators are also not stacking the 45 or 49 maximum resilience. So what you can see is the helmet and also the chest still stacks maximum resolve stacks, but the pens are one of the defensive pieces, they're actually stacking maximum resilient, and maximum resilient will give even higher maximum life. Again, coming back to the screenshots, you can see it's over 20,000 maximum life for most of the build, and this enables them to do even higher damage. So if you're looking into the new build, definitely have a look at the choice of those gears because a lot of things has changed. In terms of the aspects, not much has changed, but in terms of master crafting and also tempering, there are some difference over here. So I'll have the builds available for you guys for comparison. Of course, you don't need to follow the previous line that is a little slower. You can see previously they were using skill ranks and also dexterity and also attack speed. They have changed all towards maximum life. Now, what is the bigger difference between the 8-minute clear and also 12-minute clear is that the 12-minute clear player actually shows his gears and also choices of the effects over here. You can actually have a look at this at the end of the video. And you can see his gears are not perfect, while the 8-minute clear player will have perfect gears, of course. And finally, there is an interesting factor. This 12-minute clear Chinese player actually used vulnerability damage over here. So if you have a look closely, you can see there's actually vulnerability damage on the glove and also on the rings that is crafted for this alternative build. And this is the bigger difference they had. So the players wanted to have vulnerability damage because we have ways to multiply the vulnerability damage. While the first build over here, they still use Overpower. So notice the Overpower on the gloves and also Overpower on the rings. One of the reasons players wanted to use vulnerability damage, which can still work, is because you're getting multiplayer damage for the Overpower hits and also for the Jaguar Spirit Hall, which also takes more damage for having Overpower hits. So you're pretty much double dipping, even though vulnerability was rolling a little lower compared to Overpower. So if you have got a vulnerability on the rings and also vulnerability on the gloves, this can still work in those builds for high damage. Now, in terms of the gems and also skill rankings, they haven't changed much. And in terms of the skills, the players have not changed too much over here. But I do want to have a stress out. But I do want to quickly go through the Paragon board and also new choice of glyphs over here. So this is actually following from the Chinese content creator, which a lot of the community follows from Liu Li over here. Liu Li posted some of the latest over Paragon level 240 pit clear Paragon setup, and this has been updated as well. So now he's using Talent, Colossal, Fulminate, Majorist, and also Headhunter. So you can see he's no longer using Revenge, and you can see the pathing of those Paragon board now prioritize in getting intelligence and also dexterity. And for any of the spare nodes that he has extra Paragon points, he will be putting into the blue ones, the golden ones, and also the normal nodes in the Headhunter because they get double bonuses. And during this time, I did try to translate and also make things a little easier for you guys for some additional notes if you want to have a read. So here are the stats priorities and also the pathing methods for the new latest adjustment for those builds. Now, before I finish the video, I want to clear up on some misunderstandings and also questions that was asked often. So the first thing is, why do we have resource cost reduction? Why are they going for resource cost reduction? And when do you stop going for resource cost reduction? Because you can see there's resource cost reduction on the glove for this particular build. And there's also resource cost reduction on these gloves over here. So why are the Chinese players going for resource cost reduction? It is because that what they wanted to do is they want to have this particular icon. So the 275 icon is coming from the amulet. They are testing on the dummies so that this icon is always there. You don't want to see 0, you don't want to see any other numbers but 275. And if you can have this icon up 99% of the time, this means you have enough resource cost reduction and also resource generation. And how do you want to say this is, they have written some breakpoints. So intelligence breakpoints to help with this is 460, 530, and also 560. You can see the Chinese player I screenshotted have over 600 intelligence, which allows him to constantly have 275 of the amulet breakpoint. And in all the videos you can see as the players play this particular part, it is always 275. Notice that this icon, 275 does not change. And this is the biggest source of damage for consistently having 275. And I mean, skip a little forward, you can see that no matter what they do, they always have 275 over here. And this is why they have resource cost reduction and also resource generation on all of the Paragon board. Now they have even changed the Paragon board in such a way that you're having the first Paragon board coming over here. So the second Paragon board that you jump directly into, they will have ways to allow you to get even more resource. And the Paragons are adjusted to give you even more resource generation and also cost reduction by getting intelligence. Now, the second question I often had is that why are we not getting 275 maximum resource? Well, the Chinese players have explained this, that during this time, what you want to notice is the unique weapon that is used for this particular build, the Rod of Catalectic. This actually considers the resource cost reduction and also the reductions of all the resource. So as long as you have enough resource cost reduction, having 240-ish maximum vigor or resource is enough to reach the 275 that I just mentioned over here. And that was quite important to understand. Now, finally, the last question I often had is why are we not going for attack speed and why are we not going for more attack speed? Why is maximum life over here? It's because that if you can get a max road duelist aspect for 4 or 5 maximum ferocity, you'll be getting a lot more attack speed because of these particular boots. And players have also even mentioned that sometimes they don't even need all the maximum resistance on the rings, they are prioritizing on dexterity for even higher damage. So you might see some builds that not even having the maximum 70% or resist. Sometimes they opt for more damage over the resistance over here. But of course, you should max roll on the resistance at least on the boots to allow you to have more defensive capacities. Now, hopefully this video provides you guys with more insight and also better explanations. I will be translating a lot of those endgame builds, and I do suggest to you guys to come over to have a look at some of the Chinese player stats of the gears. And you can see some of the Pit 150 clears, they have okay gears. They're not top end gears, and this still allows them to clear the pit because of the new concept and also understanding to stack maximum life, resilient, and also maximum resolve using different combos and also using different craftings. So if you guys want to follow the latest pit and also changes in the Chinese meta and also, future changes, make sure you subscribe for the latest Diablo 4 and also Path of Exile 2 videos to come in the future.